Hello, this is Sierra and welcome to another video. Today we're doing another story. We are doing the next segment of third part of the Clockwork Chronicles, the Hero of Wonderberg. It's known as Heroes. You know from the title. I don't know what number this is. I think this is probably 4. I don't know if there'll be a 5th one. I'm assuming we're still recording, even though it doesn't show that we're still recording. Yep, we are recording. Okay. If you this thing is so weird sometimes, okay? Anyway, if you haven't seen the other parts, be sure you do so, because you'll be missing out. And there are spoilers. Spoilers. Yeah, anyway. We should get right into it. Yeah. Gosh. Squishy watched in amazement as the last of Mr. A's men were escorted through the portal. Keen and Priscilla had arrived at some point during the battle and helped keep back the townspeople who were unknowingly doing Mr. A's bidding. Now, that they were free from whatever power the gem had on them, most of them had returned home, leaving Mr. A's men, who had been encouraging the townspeople to do this in the first place. She could see Keen and Priscilla over by the portal, finally turning it off once they were sure that they'd gotten all of them. No doubt she had a feeling at least one of them had escaped, along with Mr. A, who had been nowhere near the battle when it had occurred. Looks like he made it out of that okay, Keen mused when she approached him. You did pretty well with the sword, I must say. Thank you, she said with a nod. Is it basically all of them? All of them that were here in this area, yes. Wrong voice. Priscilla said simply, except for Mr. A himself. Duckling said bitterly, we'll figure out a way to get him. Keen assured her. Besides, he doesn't have the men to back him up this time. There's no way they can return. Not even through Stampy's portal? She asked. Yes, the Wizard nodded simply. The portal has now been programmed to show up whenever Stampy wants to go. I'm sure he'll be happy about that. Yeah, she nodded. Speaking of Stampy, where is he? Probably over by the Wonder Gem last time I checked. Priscilla said, gesturing to where the gem was located. Feel free to check on him. We'll pack up things here. Okay. Squishy nodded, running off towards the Wonder Gem, knowing full well her friends could handle themselves fine on their own. She was excited and happy, glad to see that they'd won. They stopped the men and forced the men to leave, being unable to come back. She knew her friends would be happy to hear that, though no doubt he'd be nervous about Mr. A still being around. She didn't blame that of her friend, though. He had every right to be worried. However, when she turned around the corner, the scene before her caused her to freeze in her tracks. At the base of the Wonder Gem were 3 figures. One was lying on the ground, not moving. A second was hunched over the first figure, doing something she couldn't quite see, and a third was standing, as if at the lookout. There you are, Squishy, the standing figure said in greeting as he waved her over. What happened? Squishy asked in shock, as she came closer, recognizing the wizard-turned comedian that the cat had told her about. She knew he was good now, and had helped them keep the people back, but still made her uneasy. She looked down towards the other 2 figures. Sam was kneeling over an unconscious Stampy, bandaging what appeared to be an arrow wound. Tears stung in her eyes as she went over to kneel next to the boy, who was working diligently, just finishing the last bit before securing it in place. The boy looked up at her, seeing the confusion and sadness. He'll be okay, the boy said simply. It's not as bad as it looks. But what happened? She asked, her mind swirling around every possible situation. Stampy was shot in attempts of retrieving the fixed Wonder Gem, Haynes explained. And from what I saw, after fixing it, some other guy tried to finish him off. No, she gasped in horror as she noticed the other limp figure a little ways away. It was that of a man in Mr. A's uniform, unconscious, but still feeling like a threat to her and her friends. So most of the men have left, I presume? Haynes asked, attempting to change the topic. Yeah, except for Mr. A and these guys, she said, gesturing to the second body she could see, who appeared to be a little charred, as if he'd been struck by lightning. Yeah, that's gotta hurt. I'll take these 2 to my brother. He'll take care of Hannah said simply. After that, I best be going. And you should too. Take Stumpy back to the house so he can recover. You're sure? She asked him. It's for the best, the comedian said, and he shook his head, grabbing one of the men as he dragged them to the second one, then grabbing him and walking off without giving her a chance to say any more. You heard him, the boy said simply as he stood up, looking down at his friend sadly. Actually, it might be 4 chapters. He looks so pale, Duckling said quietly, feeling the boy put a hand on her shoulder. He needs time to recover and get back his strength, the boy replied, away from people who might try to hurt him. But there's no one who might. She started trailing off, understanding. Do you think the Wonder Gem will be safe now? Gadget was destroyed, the boy said defiantly. The men have no way of doing anything permanent that isn't destroying the gem completely. Do you think they might? She asked. We'll be ready for them to try, the voice said from behind them. The duckling stood and turned to see Keen and Priscilla coming in her direction. I know, Squishy replied with a nod, reassured by the wizard's words. Come on, Squishy, we need to get back to the house, Sam told her gently. He'll be more comfortable there than the stone ground here. I hope he'll be okay, she said quietly. I know he will. With us by his side, the boy Sam assured her. Trust me when I say I won't let anything happen to him. I do trust you, and I believe you, she said with a smile as she leaned down to pick up the cat into her arms, her heart breaking as to how limp he was. He looked so weak and frail, as if he'd been through so much. If only she'd seen what was happening and she could have stopped it. If only she had been there to help him. Let's go, Squishy, the boy said with a nod. She nodded in return, beginning her trek back to the house, taking care with each step she took, not wanting to do anything that might result in her friend suffering more pain than he had suffered already. She would be there for him, knowing that he would need it. Stampy needed all of them, and she needed to be strong for him, to be brave and ready to defend, even if the time arose. She didn't know if Mr. A could try to return, but if he did, she would be ready for it. Let's continue. It doesn't say it's recording, but it is recording. Let's just hope it works. Oh. Looks like I lied. There are 4 parts, not... Ugh. I forgot, okay? I write a lot of stuff. Yeah, that probably will be able to be done with it, like, 2 parts, so... Yeah. I could probably finish this. I didn't know how long it would be, okay. Anyway, yeah, we got 4 parts instead of 3, which is fine, Yeah. Hope. Quickly edit that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you later. Bye. Oh, don't start.